Should more help be given to NATO to counter Russia? Can we trust our leaders to handle defense issues? Can Donald Trump be trusted when it comes to international affairs? Welcome to today's free discourse video. Today, we're diving into a discussion sparked by recent statements from former President Donald Trump regarding America's commitment to NATO. Trump said that the United States will stay in NATO, provided European nations pay their fair share. However, his take on fair burden sharing and the potential effects of a Trump presidency on NATO solidarity have raised significant questions. Firstly, why is fair burden sharing within NATO crucial for its sustainability, and how does Trump's view influence this dynamic? Secondly, what are the implications for European security if the United States were to withdraw support for NATO member states under a Trump administration? Trump's recent interview with Nigel Farage on GB News sheds light on his belief that NATO's viability hinges on fair contributions from member states. He emphasized the need for European nations to pay their fair share, which is a similar position he took when he was president. Trump's insistence on fair burden sharing underscores the delicate balance of power within NATO and the importance of each member fulfilling their financial commitments. However, concerns have arisen around the potential consequences of a Trump presidency on NATO cohesion and European security. Trump's previous statements about NATO and his negotiation tactics make many apprehensive about the reliability of US support under his leadership. The prospect of the United States withdrawing aid to NATO countries that fail to meet financial obligations adds complexity to the alliance's dynamics and has encouraged European allies to consider alternative strategies for safeguarding their security interests. So it seems clear that Trump's reassurance that the United States will remain in NATO if European nations pay their fair share has shown the significance of equitable burden sharing within the alliance. But the implications of a Trump presidency on NATO solidarity and European security should be carefully considered. As we navigate these uncertainties, it's perhaps the case that NATO member states should uphold their commitments while also exploring contingency plans to mitigate potential risks to regional stability. But what are the public likely to think about this? At the Free Discourse channel, we value the views of everyone and hope that our videos help you to formulate your own opinions. So, let's think about what views the public will hold on Trump's views on NATO and the security alliance more widely. Many will be strongly in favor of bolstering military support for Ukraine, including greater involvement from NATO, and increasing defense spending overall. They would emphasize the need for Europe, including the UK, to step up and provide necessary assistance to Ukraine, viewing it as a crucial step in maintaining the integrity of the NATO alliance. Some might even suggest that providing Ukraine with the ammunition it needs could yield a better return than solely increasing defense spending within NATO member states. These people would view Russia's actions as a threat to democracy and would believe that supporting Ukraine is crucial in preventing further aggression from Russia. They would call for measures such as increasing taxes and diverting funds from other areas to support Ukraine's defense efforts, while also urging NATO to play a more active role in ensuring the security and stability of the region. Another perspective is one of skepticism and criticism toward government policies and officials, particularly regarding defense spending and foreign relations. Many will question the effectiveness of current political leadership and express doubt about their commitment to increasing defense spending or providing adequate support to Ukraine. Some might criticize specific politicians for what they perceive as lack of action or sincerity in addressing defense issues. They would highlight concerns around wasteful spending and Western governments' wider priorities, suggesting that addressing these issues could free up resources for supporting Ukraine and strengthening national defense. But many will distrust and be critical towards international figures, particularly former President Donald Trump and his allies. Some would question Trump's motives and sincerity in advocating for fair play and increased defense spending, citing what they see as his track record of inconsistency and self-serving behavior. They would view Trump's involvement in foreign policy matters with suspicion and skepticism, suggesting that his statement should not be taken at face value. So, what do you think? It's clear that opinions around military support for Ukraine and NATO involvement vary widely. Some call for increased military support, including NATO intervention, citing the importance of standing against Russian aggression and preserving democratic values. On the other hand, skeptics will express doubts about government policies and officials' commitment to adequately supporting Ukraine or prioritizing defense spending. Additionally, there will be criticism and distrust directed towards international figures like former President Donald Trump and his allies, with concerns about their motives and consistency in advocating for increased defense spending. So which of these views do you agree with the most? Do you find yourself aligning with those who advocate for bolstering military support for Ukraine and increasing NATO involvement to counter Russian aggression? Or do you identify more with the skeptics who question government policies and prioritize diplomatic solutions over military intervention? Alternatively, perhaps you agree with those who express distrust towards international figures and their involvement in foreign policy matters. With several national elections taking place in 2024, it will be interesting to see how the conversation around defense evolves in the coming years. I hope this free discourse video has helped you to understand this topic more clearly. If so, don't forget to like the video and consider subscribing for regular updates on the most important of world affairs.